Hi and good afternoon everyone. Welcome to Supergrads. My name is Abel Chauhan and here I am with another series on topics that are super important when it comes to the actual IP MAT exam that will happen in 2026. So I hope everyone is ready and excited. Today's discussion revolves around double fillers. Double fillers, students, एक ऐसा topic from where you can expect a minimum of 4 to 5 questions in IP MAT Indore exam. Many, I think 2 to 3 questions in Rohtak as well, in JIPMAT and the other BP entrance exams that will take place next year. So that is how we'll be going about things. आज double fillers पे discussion करेंगे. Then we have triple fillers for tomorrow, and then we have some other topics like para completion, para jumble, and para summary. So let's begin with things, students. Hi Prabhas, hi everyone. I hope everyone is excited. I have 20 questions in this session, but then again, it's not just about answering these 20 questions. क्या approach होना चाहिए? क्या तरीका होना चाहिए? Is it about the vocabulary or is it about learning the context of things? So इन सारी चीजों के ऊपर हम discussion करेंगे. Here is our first question. Hi, good afternoon everyone. Here's your first question. Despite strong public support for reforms, the final policy document appeared surprisingly dash in its ambitions and relied on a dash interpretation of earlier recommendations. So that is how this question pans out. There are a couple of words that are very important here. Number one is despite. Now the moment I see this preposition despite, मैं वहां से ये चीज समझ गया कि यार कुछ इमोशन चेंज होगा पैसेज में, सेंटेंस में. इट विल नॉट गो वन डायरेक्शन नहीं जाएगा. व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय दैट? यहां पर लिखा डिस्पाइट स्ट्रॉन्ग पब्लिक सपोर्ट, सो द पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट इज समथिंग दैट विल नॉट बी स्ट्रॉन्ग. तो ऐसा वर्ड मुझे देखना है. सो ऑडेशियस, रैडिकल, स्वीपिंग, दीज आर एक्सट्रीम वर्ड्स कि बिल्कुल 360 डिग्री आपने किसी चीज को चेंज कर दिया. सो दिस कैन नॉट वर्क हियर. The correct word would be tepid. Tepid is something that has flaws, something that is weak. That is what tepid is. So surprisingly, tepid in its ambitions and relied on distorted interpretation of earlier recommendations. Distorted interpretations. As I said, it's not about just coming here and teaching you people 20 questions. No. That is not the agenda of my sessions. मैं अगर एग्जाम सिनेरियो में हूँ, मैं अगर एक स्टूडेंट हूँ, मैं कैसे इस क्वेश्चन के थ्रू निकल पाऊंगा, मुझे ये देखना है. सो फॉर दैट माय ग्रामर हेल्प मी. वर्ड्स लाइक डिस्पाइट, वर्ड्स लाइक सरप्राइजिंगली समथिंग दैट इट वाज सपोज्ड टू हैपन वैसा नहीं हुआ, इसीलिए ये एडवर्ब सरप्राइजिंगली यहां पर लिखा हुआ. आई थिंक वी हैव हैड अच्छा खासा डिस्कशन अराउंड दिस क्वेश्चन. आई होप एवरीवन नाउ अंडरस्टैंड्स हाउ टू अप्रोच सच क्वेश्चंस ऑफ डबल फिलर्स. हियर इज आवर क्वेश्चन नंबर 2. Again, if you look at the set of words that we have in options, तो यार ये बड़े common words हैं. अगर कोई भी बच्चा preparation कर रहा है, I am expecting कि knowing the meaning of the words is not a problem here, but the usage is where you people lag. So let's see if you can answer this question, if you can try this question. If you're not sure कि क्या word लगाना है, you can come up with your word कि यार सर ये वर्ड मुझे लग रहा है ये इजी वर्ड था, नॉट इन दी ऑप्शंस. ठीक है, वोकैबुलरी तो हम पढ़ लेंगे, बट यूजेज, कॉन्टेक्स्ट, इन चीजों का बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस होता है स्टूडेंट्स. सो हियर इज योर सेकंड क्वेश्चन फॉर टुडे. हियर इज योर सेकंड क्वेश्चन. द पैनल कंक्लूडेड दैट द डेटा though incomplete, this will play a big role in this question. This conjunction will help you students. Conjunctions का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस होता है. वर्ड्स ऑफ कोर्स सारे वर्ड्स का इंपॉर्टेंस है, बट conjunctions, especially when you're trying to answer questions of double filler. I have a session tomorrow as well on triple fillers. तो वहां पर भी आपको मैं इन्हीं subtle चीजों पर ध्यान देने को बोलूंगा. The panel concluded that the data, though incomplete, revealed a set of something that is different from complete, something that is not similar to complete. So again, if we look at the meanings of students, so incomplete का मुझे कुछ opposite देखना है. So coherent would make sense. coherent is something that is well aligned. Incomplete revealed a set of coherent trends that had been previously obscured due to flaws. Obscure is something which is hidden, something that is unknown or not known about. So that is how you should have tried to answer this question. Pritesh का answer correct है, which is good to see. A is not correct here. A is not correct, students. So did you understand कि भाई ऐसे questions को approach कैसे करना है? As I said, I'll keep saying that it's not just about telling me the correct answer. It's about having that right approach, because in the long run वही चीज आपको एग्जाम में हेल्प करने वाली है. So moving on to the next one now. Question number 3, students. Here it is. The CEO's address was praised for being dash in tone, but criticized for offering only dash solutions. So what kind of solutions? I think double fillers में you have this advantage कि अगर आप first filler में तुमको नहीं समझ आ रहा है कि क्या word use कर सकते थे, second filler sometimes comes for the rescue. So अगर आप इस question को ढंग से पढ़ोगे, I think you will be able to decide the second one, and of course second अगर आप पकड़ लेते हो, so that would be the answer to this question, students. The CEO's public address was praised for being something. So praise for being, of course, some positive word is what we need. Abrasive is something that is rough. Haughty is something that is arrogant. Detached, अगर detached होगा, so why would it be praised by people? So it was conciliatory in tone, but criticized for offering only dash solutions. Superficial solutions for deep structured issues. The structures are so deep, but it is criticized कि यार जो solutions है वो deep नहीं है. So you needed a word that means कि सिर्फ surface पे है, सिर्फ peripheral information है. That is exactly what this word superficial means, students. So that was our third question. I think approach समझ में आया. I think आपको option कैसे देखना है ये समझ में आया. And let's now move to the next question. Next question, students. Although the novel's premise is original, premise is something जिस पर कोई भी argument rest करता है. So you could say base or foundation. Could say foundation or base. That is what premise is. So although the novel's premise is original, its execution is weakened by something which is not related to being original. क्योंकि although से ये sentence start हो रहा है, ये एक बहुत बड़ा hint था. Is weakened by dash spacing and a tendency to introduce characters whose motivations remain dash. So what do you think should be the correct answer to this question, students? I can give you another 10 seconds for it, but not more than that, because that will not serve the purpose जो मैं करना चाहता हूँ out of these 5 sessions that I'll have from Monday to Friday, same time, different topics. So अभी भी अगर आप ये सोच रहे हो कि यार मेरे IP मैट में वो टॉपिक कौन से होने वाले हैं जो मेरे बहुत स्कोरिंग होंगे, trust me, double fillers has to be on the top of that list. डबल फिलर्स, ट्रिपल फिलर्स, पैरा कंप्लीशन, पैरा जंबल, ये सारे टॉपिक आप अच्छे अभी भी कर सकते हो. अभी भी अगर आप प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट कर रहे हो तो यू कैन डू दैट. सो इट्स एग्जीक्यूशन वाज वीकेंड बाय डैश पेसिंग. सो पेस स्लो पेस था, ठीक है. एंड फॉर स्लो वी हैव दिस वर्ड लैंग्वेज. स्लो, लेजी, and the tendency to introduce characters whose motivations remain, जिनके मोटिवेशन हमें नहीं समझ में आ रहे कि क्या क्या रीजन है उन कैरेक्टर्स का. सो इनस्क्रूटेबल, जो मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा है कि इन कैरेक्टर्स का क्या यूज है यहाँ पे. सो दैट इज योर क्वेश्चन नंबर 4, स्टूडेंट्स. मूविंग ऑन टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 नाउ. मूविंग ऑन टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 5. एज आई सेड, सिमिलर लेवल के, सिमिलर डिफिकल्टी लेवल के क्वेश्चंस आपको आईपी मैट एग्जाम्स में दिखते हैं फॉर डबल फिगर्स. So here is question number 5, students. Economic recovery will remain uncertain as long as central bank continue adopting dash policies that generate only dash improvements. मतलब बहुत सारे improvement अभी नहीं होते दिख रहे हैं. Economic recovery will remain uncertain. We are not so sure. तो कैसी policies होनी चाहिए? Adopting dash policies that generate dash improvements. मतलब we are getting ना के बराबर improvements. कोई बहुत ज़्यादा improvements नहीं हुए. So sweeping reforms is like सब पूरा drastic change कर देना. तो sweeping doesn't make sense. Robust is strong, जो हमें यहाँ नहीं चाहिए of course, and not structural as well. So tentative policies, tentative and the word uncertain, ये भी क्या साथ साथ नहीं जाते? Don't you think ये words similar है? Something is tentative, आपके एग्जाम की टेंटेटिव डेट आई है, सो इट्स अनसर्टेन कि वो होगा नहीं होगा. सो दैट इज हाउ यू कैन रिलेट इट. एंड मार्जिनल इंप्रूवमेंट्स मतलब ना के बराबर प्रोग्रेस, ठीक ठाक प्रोग्रेस. सो दैट वाज क्वेश्चन नंबर 5. That was my approach for question number 5. I hope you liked my approach for question number 5. Let's move now to the next question, students. Question number 6. Question number 6. The critic argued that the documentary's strength lay in its ability to present dash evidence while maintaining a dash narrative that avoided sensationalism. So he chose a narrative जो sensationalism से related नहीं है. ठीक है? What could be that? Your time starts. You can try this question now. Yes. इस क्वेश्चन में क्या कर सकते हैं? Critic argued that the documentary's strength lay in its ability to present dash evidence. So we need a positive word here. क्यों? Because ये उसका strength था. We need a positive word. अभी अगर आप इसे ऐसे categorize करोगे positive negative तो इतना याद रखो. While maintaining a dash narrative that avoided sensationalism. So chaotic is of course something that changes, something that creates disturbance. ये आंसर नहीं हो सकता. Measured, yes. Theoretical भी again sensationalism को promote करता, so that makes sense. Volatile is something that keeps changing. Something that keeps changing, something that is unreliable. So that was my answer to this question. Option B. Compelling, something that shows कि यार assertive manner में, इस sense में use होता है compelling. कोई positive word चाहिए था because वहाँ पे strength लिखा था. And second filler should have been a measured approach. सोच समझ के कोई काम करना, not like volatile or not chaotic and not theoretical. So B was the correct answer to this question, students. Here is our next question for today's session. Next question, students. बता दो भाई, if you people are enjoying the session, आप मुझे chat में बता सकते हैं. Here's the next question. The researcher remained dash about the initial findings. So probably he's cautious. ऐसा कुछ word मुझे यहाँ पर चाहिए है. If I look at an easy word जो मुझे समझ में आ रहा है, he was cautious. He was not overexcited. Insisting that any conclusion drawn without replication, मतलब he wants कि यार और थोड़ा investigation हो और थोड़ा experimentation हो. So any conclusion drawn without replication would be dash. So these are positive words, आप इन्हें ignore कर सकते हैं. It has to be premature and circumspect. He was a little doubtful. He was staying cautious. ऐसे. So that is how you could have answered this question. Yes, Arnav, correct answer है. This series will be for 5 days. For 5 days of this week and 5 different topics. आज double fillers है. Tomorrow we have triple fillers. and then para completion, para summary, para jumbles. This is how the series will go. Hi, good evening. Hi everyone. So that was question number 7. I think we have had enough discussion around this one. Let's have question number 8. Let's see if we can try and answer question number 8. वर्ड्स आपको पता है, वर्ड्स नए हैं पुराने हैं, उस डिबेट को we'll do that some other day. But word usage, students, is super important. Context आपको समझ में आना चाहिए. That is how you get well with these type of questions in IP Mat and Law. It's not about not knowing the meaning of the words. It's about their usage. So here's question number 8. Let's see if you can answer this. Urban development must strike a balance between two things. Between dash expansion and protection of dash ecosystems threatened by unchecked construction. क्या होना चाहिए? इकोसिस्टम हमारे कैसे इकोसिस्टम्स हैं स्टूडेंट्स? इकोसिस्टम काफी वीक है बिकॉज जितना भी हम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप कर रहे हैं, दिस नथिंग, इट हैज नथिंग टू डू विथ इंग्लिश. दिस इज कॉमन सेंस. सो सस्टेनेबल एक्सपेंशन and protection of fragile ecosystems, weak ecosystems. ठीक है, hasty expansion नहीं हो सकता. Hasty is something that is done very quickly without giving a thought, right? So that cannot be the correct answer. B has to be correct here. B is correct for question number 8. So Soham's answer is correct, and so is Yesh. Yesh ka answer be correct. That's good to see. Here is question number 9, students. Here is our question number 9. Here is the next question. Question number 9. Are you ready with the answers? हर आर्ग्यूमेंट दो फिर से आ गया स्टूडेंट्स. सेशन के स्टार्टिंग से आपको बता रहा हूं कंजंक्शंस का रोल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. कंजंक्शंस पूरे सेंटेंस का इमोशन चेंज कर देते हैं. सो इन दैट वे यू नो कि मुझे कैसा वर्ड चाहिए. डू आई नीड समथिंग सिमिलर टू व्हाट प्रीवियसली हैड बीन रिटन, या कुछ उसका ऑपोजिट चाहिए, या कुछ उसका ऑपोजिट चाहिए. So her arguments, though elegantly phrased, they were elegantly phrased, rested on a series of dash assumptions. So not verified assumption, थोड़े weak assumptions पे based था, and that ultimately rendered her conclusion boring, lacking taste, lacking interest. So B should be the correct answer here for question number 9, students. Let's move to the next one. कितने बच्चों का question number 9 correct था? And as I have kept saying this throughout the session, it's not about just answering these questions. Approach आप सीख रहे हो या नहीं double fillers के लिए? Is double fillers one of those topics that you'll bank on when it comes to the actual exam? ये हमारा एजेंडा है. 5 डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स इस वीक जो चलने वाले हैं. बस आपको ये समझना है कि यार कौन सा टॉपिक मेरा मेन है, कौन सा टॉपिक मेरा वीक है, मुझे कहाँ कितनी मेहनत करने की जरूरत है. दैट विल you can still restart your preparation if you feel lost somewhere, if you feel कि प्रिपरेशन जितनी अच्छी चल रही थी नहीं चल रही है, सब भूल जाओ, तुम आज से भी स्टार्ट कर सकते हो. So on that motivational note, let's try to answer question number 10. The committee favored a dash approach to reform, believing that only a dash transition would prevent institutional disruptions. Now the word, अगर आप बोलते हो कि सर यहाँ पर आपको कौन सा वर्ड लग रहा है, कौन सा वर्ड है जो आपको बहुत हेल्प करेगा, सो आई थिंक द वर्ड इज ट्रांजिशन. ट्रांजिशन इज ग्रेजुअली चेंजिंग फ्रॉम वन थिंग टू द अदर, वही ट्रांजिशन फेज होता है. सो favored a dash approach to reform. So it has to be gradualist, ड्रास्टिक अप्रोच में पूरा सब 360 डिग्री चेंज कर दोगे, वो नहीं करना है, बिकॉज दे वांट टू बी इन अ ट्रांजिशन में है वो. देन reactionary impulsive of course doesn't make sense. So gradualist and orderly are the ones that are correct. That was our question number 10, students. Let's move now to question number 11. The philosopher warned that moral judgment becomes dangerously dash when it is guided by fleeting emotions rather than principles that are dash. So we need a word that has to be the opposite. मेरे को यहाँ पर एक वर्ड बड़ा अच्छा दिख रहा है, that word is fleeting, and सिर्फ इस fleeting के बेसिस पे मैं इस क्वेश्चन को आंसर करूंगा. क्या आप आंसर करेंगे based on fleeting, students? What do you think? What do you think about question number 11? Fleeting is something that is short-lived. Short-lived, temporary. तो मुझे ऐसा, अब देखो, ट्रांजिएंट मीन्स शॉर्ट लिव्ड. फ्रेजाइल इज समथिंग दैट इज वीक. सो यू नो कि यार ऐसा नहीं है. वी नीड अ वर्ड दैट इज ऑपोजिट टू फ्लीटिंग. सो दैट कुड बी रोबस्ट. रोबस्ट इज वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग. And the first one should be capricious. Capricious is again a synonym of volatile. जो हमने पढ़ा था, volatile is something that keeps changing, something that is unreliable. So the philosopher warned that the moral judgment becomes dangerously capricious, unstable, if it is when it is guided by fleeting emotions rather than principles that are sufficiently strong, sufficiently robust to withstand scrutiny and examination. So A must be the correct answer here, and A must be the correct answer here. And who got it correct? Krish got it correct. Okay, good job. So that was question 11, students. Let's move now to question 12. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. मेरा अप्रोच आप सिंपल अप्रोच है यार. आप ये समझने जाओ कि पूरे सेंटेंस में व्हाट इज दैट वन वर्ड और व्हाट आर दोस कपल ऑफ वर्ड्स दैट विल हेल्प कि यार कैसे यहाँ पे ब्लैंक्स में वर्ड्स होने चाहिए. आई थिंक बस अगर आप इतना पकड़ना सीख जाओ तो डबल फिलर्स वुड बी वन ऑफ योर फेवरेट टॉपिक्स. So Neeti has answered and it seems like her answer is correct. Although the proposal appeared visionary, so although it was visionary, although से ही बहुत कुछ help हो जाएगा, critics argued that its underlying assumptions were far too something that is not similar to visionary. Visionary का कुछ opposite मुझे देखने जाना है, so that would be speculative and rested on data that remained stubbornly inconclusive. Inconclusive of course chooses itself, but यहाँ पे first filler important था and of course मुझे visionary से कुछ दूर का word चाहिए था. I needed a word that was not similar to visionary, so कोई एक negative सा word चाहिए था, that was speculative. So that was my approach to answer such questions. I hope it helped. I hope it worked. Let's move now to question number 13, students. 13. The committee's report is praised for its clarity, but ये आ गया conjunction. But some experts note that recommendations are surprisingly dash. So clarity से कुछ दूर का word. Clarity नहीं चाहिए यहाँ पे. Relying on a dash interpretation of complex economic indicators. So prescriptive is a different word, इस context में सही नहीं होगा. Of course we need a word जो clarity का थोड़ा दूर हो. So rigorous, exhaustive, ये सब clarity से similar words हैं. The word here should be tepid and reductionist. Tepid is something that is weak. I think tepid हमने session के starting में भी किसी question में पढ़ा है आज. Something that is weak. So that was your question. That was the answer to this question. Let's move to the next one now. His memoir is a curious blend of something. Blend of candid confession and deliberate omission. Producing a narrative that feels simultaneously, if something is candidly confessed, how will it seem like? How will it seem like, students? And frustratingly dash. So when there is a candid confession and when you confess something, what do? You reveal something, right? Reveal करते हो. ऐसा कोई word दिख रहा है? ऐसा कोई word दिख रहा है, students? For question number 14. For question number 14. Do you see any of those words? Sam has answered, and as I said, when you reveal something revelatory and at the same time it is frustratingly incomplete because deliberate omission of things, जानबूझकर आप कुछ चीजें उस confession से दूर रख रहे हो. So that is how you could have answered this. Yes, Neeti, I think your answer is also correct. Good job, students. That was question 14 for you. Here is the next one. Here is question number 15. As I said, IP MAT इंदौर में double filler, triple filler. हाँ, I think I spilled the beans. तो easy हो गया था काफी सबके लिए. IP MAT इंदौर एग्जाम में double filler, triple fillers are more the test of word usage instead of you saying कि sir vocabulary tough था. Vocabulary tough नहीं होता है. For what I have seen in IP MAT इंदौर in previous years, था रोहतक एग्जाम में vocabulary थोड़ा tough होता है. तो ट्रिपल फिलर्स, डबल फिलर्स, फोर फिलर्स आपके फेवरेट टॉपिक होने चाहिए आज के सेशन के बाद. हियर इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 15, स्टूडेंट्स. Here is question number 15. So the scientists remain dash, refusing to let early praise tempt her into making dash claims about long-term impact of her findings. So what he wanted to do, he was a little circumspect again, a little cautious. So judicious would be correct, and inflated claims. Inflated is something that is exaggerated. Something that is exaggerated, that is what inflated means. So I hope ये question आपने आंसर किया. Good job, Sam. Your answer is correct. That was question number 15. I have 5 more questions. Here is the next one. The success of the conservation effort depend on dash approach that integrated scientific research with the dash knowledge of locals. Okay. So depended on a dash approach, an approach that integrated something, मतलब कुछ combine हो रहा है, कुछ combine हो रहा है. They say कि यार इनका भी साइंस का भी यूज करना है, locals का भी यूज करना है. So again unilateral is one sided, that cannot be correct. Dogma तो अलग ही चीज होगी. तो करेक्ट आंसर यहाँ होगा multifaceted. Multifaceted. There should be multiple ways of dealing with a single problem यहाँ पे. That is what the statement said. So B must be the correct answer, students, for question number 16. Let's quickly move to the next one. Question number 17, students. Here is question number 17. Yes, Neeti, B was correct for the last question. हर एक्सप्लेनेशन वाइल वाइल मिल गया मुझे, तो जहां जहां पे मुझे वाइल दो ऑल्दो डिस्पाइट ऐसे वर्ड्स मिलते हैं ना, इट मेक्स माय जॉब सो मच easier students. Her explanation, while outwardly confident, revealed a surprisingly dash grasp of the subject. So she pretended that she understood everything. कुछ बच्चे होते हैं ना क्लास में ऐसे, एंड हम टीचर्स तो समझ जाते हैं कि किसको समझ में आया है और किसको कौन सिर्फ जस्ट नॉडिंग द हेड. देयर आर मेनी सच स्टूडेंट्स. सो शी वाज लुकिंग कॉन्फिडेंट बट revealed a surprisingly dash grasp of the subject. So if someone is just not real in that moment, बस सिर्फ बाहर का कॉन्फिडेंस दिखा रहा है, सो अंदर ही अंदर सब्जेक्ट उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. एंड द वर्ड हियर should be tenuous. And her arguments collapse under even the most dash questioning. मतलब easy से easy question में भी she is not able to answer. So rudimentary, that is very basic. Rudimentary is basic. So that was your question 17, and A was the correct answer here. Let's move to the next question now. Next question. The panel stressed that any reform would be ineffective if implemented in a dash manner, since fragmented action tends to dash structured weakness rather than resolve them. So देखो, we need a word जो ये बोल रहा है कि fragmented parts में नहीं होना चाहिए. So for that we have words like, I think we have only one word, that is piecemeal, and tends to entrench structural weakness rather than resolve them. So that was your question 18. Yes, A is the correct answer, guys. Good job. Let's move to the penultimate question of today's session. And session आपको कैसा लगा ये आप मुझे बाद में बता देना. But in the meantime, my intention was quite clear. All I wanted to do, and I wanted to ensure कि double fillers आपका फेवरेट टॉपिक होना चाहिए. आईपी मैट प्रिपरेशन अगर आपको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है कहां से स्टार्ट करूं, व्हाट इज माय स्ट्रेंथ, डबल फिलर्स पे और वर्क करना. आई नो 20 क्वेश्चंस आर नॉट इनफ, बट अगर आप डबल फिलर्स पे वर्क करोगे, आई एम श्योर दैट वुड बी वेरी हेल्पफुल स्टूडेंट्स. The documentary attempts to expose the industry's hidden practices, but its narrative becomes tendentious when it relies on uncorroborated anecdotes instead of verifiable data. Tendentious, biased, inclined. Uncorroborated is not supported, not proven. So that is what this word was. So that was your question number 19. That was the penultimate question of today's session. And that brings us to the end. That brings us to the last question for today. The diplomat's remarks were crafted to be sufficiently dash to avoid offense, yet sufficiently dash to signal the government's dissatisfaction with the treaty. So we need two words that are different in meaning. And why is that? यहाँ पर कहीं पे तो था yet लिखा हुआ है. So we have such conjunctions. So sufficiently circumspect, cautious, but still sufficiently pointed towards expressing that the government has dissatisfaction with the treaty that they have had with. It could be another different country. It could be a different organization. So Bacha Party, that brings us to the end of today's session. I hope everyone enjoyed the session. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 2 p.m. with triple fillers. That's all for today. Thank you, students. Bye-bye.